Hey everyone, I'm just doing morning chores. I'm just getting here, working along, and I'll show you guys what I did yesterday. It doesn't seem like much, but it's amazing how much work lifting up straw and old manure is in a barn, because it all adds up. All sweat equity. I'm trying to keep doing things inside that are cool, because it is so humid out, and then anything I really need to do outside, I do it probably after 4 o'clock, and then do it in that window, or do it really early. Probably not really early. I'm not really an early riser. I know, worst farmer ever, but that's kind of what I'm working on. So you guys saw, you remember when I first started this. Hopefully I'm not zoomed out. I'm zoomed out here. This is all, I scraped all this. I have to brush it. What they used to use is, that's old snowmobile track. My grandparents used to use that for grip. So what you'd do is you'd run that on any of the areas where you're walking. And I know this isn't really a necessity. Anybody looking at this would say, what are you doing all that work for to clean up an old barn? But there's something gratifying about walking into a clean, nice looking barn. Even if it's not the fanciest barn in the world, but just getting it so that it's to a level where you can walk around and you can really plan and figure out the best way to utilize the space you do have. Because with the manure there, you can't really see what you have. It just, it doesn't really work. What else? Chickens are here as normal. So I'm going to try and clean this all out in here and try and get it down to this level. And then that way it's clean. I did, for something to do, I tested out the old compressor. Any of you guys that weren't in the dairy industry, these are old air lines, and what it used to be is it was a vacuum pump. These were all the lines so that you could milk off your old milkers, aka Landmark Farms yesterday showing off your old milkers. There's two of them since the last time we used them. In Ontario, we had the cream industry. In our area, we were one of the last ones to end in the cream industry. So it used to be that the dairy and the cream were separate, and then they kind of merged, and now the cream industry doesn't exist. But yeah, that's what we used to do, and my grandpa was actually very good at it. We were one of the top level cream, the best cream that you could produce at the time. And it was done in a very simple barn. Yes, it was a lot nicer back then. That's why everything's whitewashed, was because it used to have to get whitewashed every year for the for sterilization. So that's what it used to be. That wall was redone. This wall looks god-awful horrible. I know a lot of people would look at that and go, holy man, that's going to come in on you. If you look on the other side, there was a wall put on the outside of that so that that one is supported. So it isn't as bad as it looks. Yes, you can clean it up and do a nice face across it, but it isn't horrible. I'd rather get these holes fixed and this fixed, but concrete's a lot of money. It's expensive. So I also got to show you guys something too that I got to get working on. Bear in mind, this might be a little bumpy because the road's a little bumpy here, but where I'm walking, we had an old barn come down. You see it in my barnyard there, that came down. And it's become really fashionable to get old barn boards and kind of put them in your house. So we had a family member come by and they wanted to pick up some barn boards, so I figured, why not, right? So that's what I did, and I figured they can do something nice with it. And but I noticed there's something going on in the back here which I'm not really a fan of. P.S. in my thistle patches, I don't know what it is with this hot summer, or this late summer kind of coming in, but there is monarch butterflies everywhere. Them and those little yellow ones. I don't know what the yellow ones are called, but there's another one there. But yeah, they're everywhere. I don't mind it. I like them. I think it's kind of nice seeing the nature in the fields, as I've talked about before. Always a big fan of that. Ooh, there's a rock. That's nicely placed in the middle of that field. Nice. Here we go here. Through the thistle patch. This grows a lot of thistles in it because back in the day, they used to dump manure back here. So I don't think this hill really existed. I think it was created over dumping manure. But this is what I was concerned with. I was climbing up in that barn to get barn boards. And this, for anybody that doesn't know, this was our original cistern. Before the red brick home that you see here was built, this was actually where the main house was. And then I think they built this barn, or the house was somewhere in this area, and then that way it was close to the barns, and then that house was built later. But this cistern has a giant tree growing in it, and we've never really used it. This back door used to open, but this is my concern. So cattle were in here eating vines yesterday, and I don't know why, but they were in here eating vines, and I realized this fence has gotten very low. Very, very low. So what I'm gonna have to do is run probably either a fence line across here. Actually, while I'm with you guys, test out this post. So, oh, not stellar. I don't know why they did this, but they got large rocks out of the fields that they dug up and they dumped them behind the barn here. And yeah, I don't know, maybe later in life we could use them for gardens or something like that. But yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the butt. This is an old truck we had. If anybody knows, I don't know. I don't know if I have many local viewers. I think that's Kingsfield. But yeah, that's where that truck came from. But yeah, back in the day, this was all decent looking, but it said time wears it all. But I know I'm gonna get questions in the comments, but back in the day we used to ship to Alliston Creamery. So Alliston is where it used to go. Yeah, so this used to be where we'd have heifers before they were ready. They'd run around back here, and then you'd load hay up through there. But this is what I wanted to show you guys. I know I'm yammering on here. I just want to make sure that that gets patched off so that it will come on, so that they're not getting out there. I don't want them escaping here. So that's the plan. I'll get that a couple lines of barb across that, a few T-bars, and then just run barb, and that should deter them enough to kind of keep them out. As long as, well, I should run it across here, but I don't think I have enough posts, right? Because it's low here, but this is the main concern. They're not going to go through that. Maybe I'll run one or two right here. No, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but I don't have enough gates to just run gates across. That gate is under a lot of weight. I can't just take that one, otherwise I'd do that. But I got to figure something out. But that's it for me today, guys. Thanks for watching. I know some of my viewers might notice I'm pumping out a lot of videos, and that's my own idea. Right now in the summer, my other job in sales, it isn't as busy, so I've kind of taken advantage. So I basically been farming almost every day, which is unheard of for me for a very long time. This is probably the most I've spent on this farm since I've been working off farm and stuff. It's probably the most time I've spent. I've been here almost every day for about 3-4 weeks trying to finish second cut, and then just puttering away and cleaning and working, because what a lot of people don't realize is it's a lot easier to maintain than it is to fix and rebuild. So I've been more or less doing a lot more of that, which takes a lot more of your time. That's why the thistles and the weeds are everywhere, because maintaining's easy. Maintaining is just literally make sure you get the grass cut and trimmed, and make sure everything doesn't go too badly, just little fixes. But when you're fixing and rebuilding, you put a lot of projects on hold. Two more of them. You put a lot of projects on hold, and aka cutting the grass, is a one where it just happens, it just doesn't get there, because by the time 6 o'clock rolls around, 7 o'clock, all you want to do is eat and go to bed because you're tired. You've done bigger stuff in the day, and long term it'll go back to something nice. It's just, it doesn't really make sense right now. It just, you keep cleaning and it gets worse before it gets better. But thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe as always, and tell your friends. Actually, before I go, I'm actually going to mention this, and I know it's not something a lot of people want to hear when watching these videos, but this right now, with me being here every day, it makes it look like the farm's paying for all this, and it isn't. The farm is just trying to kind of get legs again, so it isn't really paying for anything. It's barely breaking even. So any of you guys watching and seeing me being able to work on a farm every day, it's not because the farm's making a killing or the farm is paying for itself. It's because the sales job is not a 9 to 5 job, and it's able to give me gaps. So I just wanted to put that in there because I don't want anybody thinking that, or getting the illusion that this farm and farming is just, well, you just get to work outside all day and it all pays for itself and you make a good living. Not really the case. You have to build it up to a level where you can do that, where you can make it easy, and maintaining, like I said before, is a lot easier than rebuilding and replanting. So that's it. I just wanted to put that in as a quote, and just so you guys know, I don't want, as I said, I want to always be real with you guys and want it so that you guys aren't seeing something or under the impression of something that really doesn't exist. I love farming and I find it very relaxing, and I want to get to a level where it does eventually make an income, but it's long from there yet. So take care, guys.